Hey folks, Dave Brown here with the New Populist. Thank you again for joining me. Now, back in my 20s, I got to live in India for a year where I studied economics at the University of Madras in Chennai and had a great time there during the summer break. I traveled the entire country and I really fell in love with India. Now, there is this stereotype that Indians are notorious when it comes to haggling. And I say this as a compliment to Indians. It is true. Every time I walked into a store, they did everything they could to make sure I bought something before I left. And most of the time they were successful. And conversely, when it comes to getting a good deal for themselves, Indians will wear you down until they get it for pennies. So hats off to you guys for that. Now, this brings me to Modi. Modi the Prime Minister of India, has a 76% approval rating. And I can't speak for what he does as far as internal politics. I don't live there. But based on what he did recently in the United States, I have to say, he's earning his paycheck because he got a lot of really good deals from the United States. And if he had asked Joe Biden for the White House furniture, he probably could have got that too. But I guess he was going easy on old Joe and let him keep the furniture. And this is funny because India has done stuff in the last several years that might suggest we would not be that friendly with India. Example, 2018, we passed the Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act. And this has to do with Russia. Of course, everything's about Russia. But 2018, we passed this act saying that if a foreign government buys military equipment, specific equipment from Russia, we would sanction them. And we did. China, their defense minister, he is actually sanctioned right now by the United States. But China wasn't the only country to buy something from Russia. India did as well. Article from Reuters, 2018. India quietly seals missile deal with Russia despite U.S. warning. India agreed to a deal with Russia to buy S-400 surface-to-air missile systems on Friday, the two sides said, as New Delhi disregarded U.S. warnings that such a purchase could trigger sanctions under U.S. law. Well, we never sanctioned India. We let it go. And one of my pet peeves is the fact that the United States, we have this double standard. We'll pass a law, but then selectively choose who we're going to enforce it against. So China, they're our enemy right now. So we enforce it against China. India, we go, we're going to let it go. So what's the point of having these laws if we're not really serious about them? Of course, the reason they're passed is not about any real ideal. It's about targeting our enemies, Russia and China. So that's why India, skated on this. But that's not all. There was an interesting article from the American Enterprise Institute, which is a conservative think tank. And this article is from this year, April 3rd, 2023, titled, India is Undermining U.S. Aviation Sanctions on Russia. And let me read this short little snippet here. Since the onset of the war in Ukraine, China has not been alone in disregarding the West and continuing business with Russia as usual. India, too, provides a lifeline to Moscow. The highest profile example of this has been in the oil trade. S&P Global Commodity Insight notes India imported 7 times more oil from Russia in 2022 compared to 2021. India's imports of Russian fertilizer increased by 371% in the 6-month period beginning April 1st, 2022. So India is buying Russian missiles, Russian oil, Russian fertilizer, And then they went to Washington, D.C. recently and got a bunch of new deals. And let me pull those up real quick. Hindu Times, PM Modi's, Prime Minister Modi's U.S. visit yields many vital agreements. PM Modi and President Biden announced deals on jet engine tech transfers, drones, health and space cooperation. Democracy is in our veins, says Modi, maintaining there's no discrimination in India. There's some political issue with that. But he came to the United States and got all these deals. So what is he doing here? What is Modi doing here? Well, the United States, we are obviously in this war with Russia, even though right now it's a proxy war. And we're stirring up the crap with Taiwan and China. And we put sanctions on the Chinese defense minister. Now, as stupid as we are, we can't also start going after India. Imagine that. Russia, China, India, all at the same time. So apparently we realize, our policymakers, that we have to stop with India and we need to play nice with them because they are they're the fifth largest economy in the world, the largest, democracy by population. And we can't piss them off as well. And Modi knows this. He also knows the Russians need trade with India. So what is he doing? He's going around and making a lot of good deals for India, getting everything he can from the Russians at a discount and from the United States. So Modi is playing this really well, and he's staying neutral. He's not committing to anybody, just reaping all the rewards because he knows that these countries want India's cooperation and don't want to turn their backs on India. So again, I tip my cap to the Indians, to Prime Minister Modi. You are getting yourself some really good deals and being very shrewd with your politics. So well done. Well, that's it for now. Again, if you are new to this channel, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.